Welcome to Winning with the Burns, a podcast for highly ambitious people who have a burning desire to learn what it takes to win at a high level.
All right, well, welcome to Winning with the Burns podcast. Before we get going, it's going to be a short one, straight to the point today. I just wanted to thank everybody that are listening in. Thank you for sharing it with others. Me and my brother's goal out of this podcast was to sow into people, into individuals that are, just trying to get better from a personal growth standpoint, or those that have, maybe started a business and are going through some struggles because business is tough, as we discussed over and over with these podcasts. But I was battling between two subjects to talk to you today, and it just hit me. These two subjects go really good together, and it's the key to consistency and desire. When we started this podcast, we did some research on podcasts that make it in the podcast world. I think there were some crazy numbers like, 90+% of podcasts don't make it to the 10th episode. I think we're like on number 8 right now, so we're getting close to that 10th one. And then once you make it to the 20th episode, I think another 60% of them fail after that. But I think there was some crazy number that once you hit that 30th podcast, that the success rate of it was really good after that. And there's no crazy magic reason why, except consistency. Consistency is everything. My goal in 2022 was to be consistently consistent. I have an all or nothing personality. I'll be all in with it for a while, and then I can easily get out of it, with my eating habits, with exercising, with business, but I have to question myself and have some self-awareness of why am I that way. And so I just want to share with you why consistency is so important. Consistency is a mental focus issue. It's all about your focus. We've talked about Tim Grover, which is Michael Jordan's trainer. He said winners manage their focus. They don't manage their time. Being very intentional is the key. 60-70% of the time, showing up, going to work every day, I don't feel like it. 60-70% of the time going to the gym, I don't feel like it. But it's being consistent and focusing on what it is that I really want. And the key to consistency is having a clear and compelling why. I grew up hearing the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. And my thinking has changed on that. I believe now that it's where there's a why, there's a way. And, there's a story about an individual that could not lose weight. He was very much overweight and just couldn't lose weight. His daughter got sick, and she needed a kidney. And he was a match to give her the kidney. So he goes to the doctor, and the doctor said, you can't, you weigh too much. He said, if I put you on that table, you'll die, when I put you to sleep. And he had 6 months. He lost over 100 pounds in 6 months. So why couldn't he have lost the weight before? Why couldn't he have made that decision and been consistent to lose that weight? He had a big why. It helped his daughter live. And, things like that happen to us in life and our lives to make us make decisions to be consistent in certain areas, but it don't have to be that way. Desire is such a huge thing. And, the definition of desire is it's a strong feeling of wanting to have something. Some of the synonyms of desire are craving, a longing, a yearning. Those are all feelings that push someone to the attainment of a possession or something. How bad do you really, really want it? If people say all the time, well, I like doing that, but I'm so inconsistent. My thing is, well, you really don't want it bad enough. There's another old story. It's a great story. It's an old judge that's sitting on a porch, rocking back and forth, and his friend comes up and talks to him. Well, his dog is sitting next to him, whining. He's sitting on a nail. The dog is like whining about being in pain. And his friend asked him, he said, man, aren't you going to help him up? He's sitting on that nail. The judge looks down and he says, when it hurts bad enough, he'll get up. Think about how profound that is. How many of us are sitting in situations now that, we're just wallowing in our own self-pity. We've gotten comfortable in our own self-pity. I know I have. I've done it all the time. You know, when the pain is bad enough, you'll move. There's a book called Atomic Habits that I read last year. You know, there's so many different books on habits, the power of habit. You know, this guy named James Clear wrote this book called Atomic Habits, and he talked about habits being part of your identity. And isn't that so true? You know, you are what you do. And I wanted to be consistently consistent in 2023. I've got a long ways to in 2022. I've had a couple of things that I've hit on, but I got some other things that I've really missed the mark on. And consistency is really about having that narrow focus, being truly focused on what it is that you really want. You know, you don't will your way to your goals, you why your way to your goals. Because your will is going to wane over time. Times are going to get tough. You know, you're not going to feel like doing certain things that you set goals to do. But having a standard for the type of person you want to be and having a why with that and being consistent, you'll do it. You know, now I started back to the gym a little over 100 plus days ago. When I go home from work, I go ahead and pack up my clothes for the next morning. It's like a habit now. I've created a habit of doing that, but it took some time. It took some time being consistent with that. So having accountability, you know, tell people, I'll send out pictures of myself, you know, to some local friends that I have from an accountability standpoint. You know, I do that to hold myself accountable. Because if I don't send a picture, I'll get a text message from them and say, hey, you didn't send me a picture. So I'll send it back to them and say, hey, here it is, you know, because it's holding me accountable. Get around a group of people that, you know, are striving to get better. You know, Jim Rohn says, if you want to change your life, you got to change your philosophy. It truly is on how you look at things and what your, you know, focus is. So guys, 2023 is around the corner. When you're listening to this podcast, it's a few days away from 2023. You know, don't fall short on your goals and dreams of 2023. Have a clear and compelling why of why you're doing or why your goal is what it is. Have a why behind it. Don't just, you know, just throw out some vain goals. Why is it that you want to attain that? Why is it that you want to do that? Okay. Be very crystal clear about it. Develop some consistency and great things will come.